Can we see a ping pong match between Liverpool and Aston Villa, first and second, back and forth all through the season? Let's jump in and see. This one is called the 415 Ping Pong version 3.1, so it is based off of a couple of versions before it. But the reason I'm showing you this, besides the fact that it's a funky shape, you got a lot up front and some back, and really only one tie between, is I just covered last time another tactic that had three up front, three in the back, with another three in the midfield, the attacking midfield areas, and I want to see how they differ between each other. But they tested it out on this one with Manchester City winning 31, draw 2, 5 losses, 131 goals for with 95 points. So they did fairly well, but it is Man City. We all know my failings about testing with Man City. So this time we're going to test with Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. But with that said, let's see how our teams in the Premier League did. Well, last time out with full throttle from the Mad Scientist, 82 points was Liverpool's top. This time 86 winning the league. 98 goals for is a little bit down. Aston Villa with 86, 79 points. They actually did better. So we are going to start with Liverpool this time around since they're on top. Southampton dropping them out of the FA Cup in the fourth round 0-2, but they get to the Carabao Cup final. They beat Manchester City 4-3. Trophy number 3 comes as a massive win in 5-0 against Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League final. Well done there. So overall, this was a pretty good season for Liverpool, winning the Premier League, winning the Europa League, winning the Carabao Cup. Really not doing great in the FA Cup, sadly, but oh well. And squad-wise, I definitely would have expected a couple more green. You do have a lot, it's 6.9, so I'll give you that, I guess. But goals, 28 for Salah, Diaz with 21, not bad at all. 22 assists for Alexander-Arnold, Salah with 21. And average rating, Salah, of course, with a 7.53. Unfortunately, Aston Villa not able to do anywhere near as good as Liverpool did. Carabao Cup quarterfinals 0-2 against Arsenal, and then FA Cup fifth round 2-all in penalties against Leicester, where you drop out. And they only got to the Europa Conference League quarterfinals, winning the first leg, losing handily in the second against Fiorentina. So overall, second place, not bad. I definitely think, as I always say, if you can take control of this yourself, you could do a bit better here. I'm only doing a full-on holiday season. I'm taking control of nothing. So doing this well, 86 points, 79 points for Aston Villa, not bad. You could do better. But overall, quarterfinals of the Europa League and the Carabao Cup, but fifth round of the FA Cup, they definitely could have done better there. Squad-wise, goals, 23 for Diaby, only 14 for Ramsey. I mean, not only 14 for him, but that's a bit of a drop-off. Assists, 23 for Digne is up there. And then average rating, Buendia gets in there with 5 appearances, but Lucas Digne with his 7.23. Data hub for our two teams, starting out with Liverpool, through and through attacking, through and through dribbles. God, that is really high. But defensively, they are not as high as sometimes, but pretty much the average shape that we see them at. But 2.58 goals per game is not bad. We've definitely seen better, but 0.95 conceded, 0.91 XG against is a smidge higher than usual. Switching over to Aston Villa, yeah, same thing as we usually see. No dribbles there, really, but goals per game is slightly down. Everything else is nice as usual. Defensive pieces cut off at the top yet again, but goals per game, 2.26, 1.1 conceded, XG against 1.27, which actually is about average or a little bit below. Premier League stats, 2.26 points per game for Liverpool, Aston Villa with 2.8, tied with Manchester City. Most goals, though, in first for Liverpool, 98 with 86 going to Aston Villa. Fewest shots against, Liverpool in second with 274, Aston Villa in seventh with 374. Most possession not there, but most dribbles made, Liverpool in first with 753, Aston Villa with 614. Aston Villa does make the list of most tackles won with 879, and most shots for Liverpool in first with 721, 605 for Aston Villa. And I'm not even going to keep you in suspense here. Ipswich Town coming in first place with 106 points, 126 goals for. Very well done. Unfortunately in the Cups, not so much. Carabao Cup first round, you're out immediately, 0-1 against Stevenage. And then you're out in the FA Cup fourth round, 1-2 against Fulham. So overall, your eggs are entirely in the championship basket. So very well done there. Everything else, not so much. Squad-wise, you actually have some green in there, which is nice to see, but 18 goals for Connor Chaplin, Broadhead with 17, Hurst all the way down with 13. Assists, 18 for Leif Davis, 17 for Wes Burns, and of course, Leif Davis tops our average rating chart with 7.36. Championship stats, 2.3 points per game for Ipswich, most goals in first with 126, few shots against in first with 329, most possession out there, but most dribbles made in fifth with 775, and most shots for in first with 809. So the 4-1-5 ping pong tactic itself. We start out with a sweeper keeper in defend, fullbacks on the left and the right in attack, ball playing defenders in the central spots, a DM in support, which is your one tie in there, but an inside forward in support on both sides, and mark specific position, I'm going to assume that's the DLDRs, attacking midfielder in attack, and then an advanced forward in attack next to a pressing forward in support. Balanced mentality, in possession attacking with his narrow, approach plays pass into space, focus played on the left and the right, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly and roll it out. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, step up more, and invite crosses. But how did it do overall for our three teams? Now, as you saw in the tactic piece just now, you're basically going back, you're changing things up from the mad scientist full throttle. You were definitely changing things up to go back to sort of what a normal tactic looks like, just with a bunch of players up front. You got a back line of 4 and a DM in there. So, it worked. It definitely worked. Ipswich Town coming in first place, 126 goals is fantastic. Liverpool and Aston Villa coming in first and second. Phenomenal. You can't really get better than that. You can get a little more goals, you can get a little more points, but still, again, if you took control of it yourself, you could definitely get all of that for your team and for your squad and for the table positioning. So I definitely say try it out if you like that tactic, if you can fit a lot of people up front and get it to work. Liverpool has a fantastic, attacking squad, as does Man City, things like that, PSG, Barcelona, any of those probably could do a fairly good job if you're doing this day in, day out, working the matches, working the training, working the transfers. I think it could work. But that is it for me, 7FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.